Alright, what's going on, guys? So, Destiny 1 is kind of popping off lately. So, some of you guys might already know this, but for the last, week or two, Destiny 1 has actually been on sale on PlayStation, and I think Xbox as well for, $4 or $5, so it's given a lot of people the idea of getting back into the game, or, maybe experiencing it for the first time. Destiny 2 right now is kind of at a stalemate, nothing's really happening in it. And to escape the doom and gloom that is Destiny 2 right now, and to experience some fun nostalgia, or maybe even just a new experience for the first time, a lot of players have been getting into Destiny 1. And about a month ago, I actually made a video encouraging people to give Destiny 1 a try in 2026 because I think it's still a very good experience and a very different experience than what you can get out of Destiny 2. This isn't even me just sitting here trying to shit on Destiny 2 or anything, but there is a lot of things that Destiny 1 does offer that Destiny 2 doesn't. And the first of those is a real campaign experience and a real new player experience. When you get into Destiny 2 right now, you have no fucking clue what you're doing. You have nowhere to go, really, no real indication of what you should be doing. The campaign's not going to make any sense. The story's not going to make any sense. You're going to have no clue what's happening. Nowhere even vaguely reminiscent of a coherent story. The story and campaigns of Destiny 1, for the most part, are nothing remarkable, I'll say. They're pretty short, way shorter than I actually remember. Especially the Taken King. I remember the Taken King being a much longer campaign. The expansion itself has an absolute ton of content, but the campaign itself was a lot shorter than I remember. And honestly, same with Rise of Iron and the base game. But the funny thing is, again, it's actually all there. You can still go and play it, and it's insane that that has to be something that we can celebrate. This should just be the norm. But anyway, not going to get into that whole thing anymore. I've already made my point there. Let's move on. The second thing that Destiny 1 offers that Destiny 2 really can't provide is a good core game experience. The strike playlist is very alive and well in Destiny 1. It has the skeleton key system, it has all of the strike specific loot, so you can get specific drops from each strike. Anytime you have a skeleton key, you can just go at the end of the strike up to a chest, open it, and you'll get a piece of strike specific loot. Destiny 1 also has the benefit of still having reputation tracks, so there's reputation for leveling up the Vanguard, and you can pledge to factions, which that is a whole thing that I have a couple videos about. But basically the factions are just an extra path of progression for you. They're just an extra source of rewards. You can level them up, find whichever one of them is your favorite, and you can get some really unique and rare shaders from them. Each faction has a host of weapons that are specific to that faction. It has 4 unique shaders, it has 2 unique ships, it's got a Sparrow, and you can actually get exotic class items by leveling up the factions and then doing a fairly lengthy quest for them. Like I said, I already have another video talking about factions that you guys can go watch if you're interested in that and don't already know about factions. I give the lore and all that stuff in that video. I'll leave a link to it in the description. But needless to say, I'm a really big fan of this system, and I've wanted it in Destiny 2 for years. There was a system sort of like that in Destiny 2, but it wasn't anywhere near as good, and it was basically just a limited time event that would go away at the end of the event. So the way that Destiny 1 does it is a much, much better system, and honestly exists at this point, so it adds quite a bit to the core game just being there. As for PvP, it's kind of hard to find games sometimes. Most of the time you can usually get into a game in certain game modes. Whatever game mode is featured for the week, usually you'll be able to get into pretty easily. You can usually find matches in Clash, at least in my experience, fairly consistently. Most other modes, it's kind of a hassle to get into, but you can still definitely find PvP matches. If there's a quest you have to do for Shaxx or one of those bounties that require you to do certain things or whatever, or the achievement if you're trying to get that or trophy on PlayStation, then it can be a little bit annoying to have to play specific game modes because a lot of the time you're not going to be able to find people queuing for those. But the actual experience of playing PvP in Destiny 1 is that the movement is a lot slower. There's a lot more focus on primary gunplay, a lot less focus on abilities. And if you're someone who thinks you would enjoy that, then definitely give it a chance. It's like I said, it can be a little bit annoying to try to find games, but you'll definitely be able to find them if you just have a little bit of patience. PvP also has its own set of dedicated rewards, and you'll earn faction rep while playing it, just as you would playing strikes. But beyond the core game and the just very basics of Destiny 1, the raid scene in Destiny 1 is still very alive and well. There's a very active LFG server that I'll leave a link to in the description as well. You guys can check that out and join it. If you're somebody who's, looking for friends to play Destiny 1 with, you'll usually be able to find people that'll be willing to do about anything with you. The Destiny 1 community is insanely friendly. Everyone is pretty nice, I would say, for the most part. Obviously, you're going to find a few assholes here and there, but for the most part, the community is really nice. They want people to play this game. They want to keep trying to build and grow the community of people that's left playing it, so for the most part, people are not going to go out of their way to be mean to you. I know just kind of inherently LFG systems and servers are most of the time pretty toxic. I can assure you that this one, for the most part, is not that. Like I said, I can't promise that you'll never run into an asshole or anything like that. but I can promise that the majority of your experiences are not going to be like that. I've seen people posting to try to get the exotic sword quests. I've seen people posting saying that they want to start over the campaign and they just want a friend to play it with. So, like I said, if you need friends to play this game with, there is definitely a big community of people that you can still find to do whatever you would possibly want to do in this game. Even if you just need help with like a single strike or whatever the case may be, you're stuck on a story mission, I guarantee you there's probably someone out there that'll help you with it. The Destiny 1 raids are nowhere near as complex as the Destiny 2 raids. They do have bigger loot tables for the most part. There's more weapons. And generally speaking, those weapons feel stronger / actually have more of an impact on the game. To this day, Fatebringer is still pretty much the best weapon in this game as far as legendary primaries go, so it's still pretty sought after. And like I said, kind of when I was talking about the LFG thing, people will, generally speaking, accept you in this game, even if you don't have a lot of experience or any experience with these raids, so you can usually find someone that'll carry you or teach you the raid. And as of the Age of Triumph update, which was basically the last update that Destiny 1 ever gotten as far as like major updates go, every single raid in the game is fully playable, and they all give fully relevant loot, so they're all worth doing. Again, as of Age of Triumph, they all have ornaments that you can get for the armor, and this is quite frankly some of the best armor that Destiny has ever seen, so if you're going to be playing this game, you'll probably want to try to pick up these armor sets. Each raid also has a suite of emblems, shaders, ships, sparrows, the whole nine that you can either earn from RNG or by completing a full set of the raid armor or by completing certain challenges in the raid. So there's a lot of reasons to run the raids in Destiny 1 still to this day. And the other thing that I want to talk about is Destiny 1 is a true loot shooter by the book. There's not really a lot of checklist type things in this game as far as like quests that you have to go through to get exotics. It's all going to be RNG. You're going to have to replay Nightfalls, you're going to have to replay raids, you're going to have to go through periods of playing the game where you're not going to get an exotic to drop. That's just the reality. You're not going to get showered in exotic drops like you do all the time in Destiny 2. It might take you months and months to get every exotic in the game. It probably will, honestly. Xur still comes to the tower every week, so you can still guarantee that at least like once a week you're going to get a new exotic for a while anyway, probably. I mean, barring him bringing a dupe or something you already have, but I mean, that's just going to happen. But it's going to take you a while to get every exotic in the game. If you're on a fresh account, I made a fresh account like 2 months ago. I barely have any exotics. Like, I have the ones that come from the quests. I have a couple that I've gotten from just complete RNG or, 3 of coin farming. And other than that, I mean, there's still a shit ton of exotics that I don't have. So it definitely will take you a while to collect every exotic in the game. Even if you're, probably doing things way more efficiently than I have been, it'll still take you a while. And I know that there's some people who are not going to like that, but for me personally, it's more of what I would prefer in Destiny. I don't really want to get into like a whole argument on whether or not it's, what's best for the game. Like, this isn't really about Destiny 2. This is just what the experience is actually like in Destiny 1. So if you think you would prefer a more RNG heavy game where you have a carrot to chase at all times, then you would probably enjoy this. Like I said, me personally, I prefer this system over Destiny 2, where everything is kind of just predetermined. Every single exotic in the game, for the most part, comes from a quest. Not all of them, but like the vast majority of exotics are going to come from quests. We haven't gotten a new RNG exotic, not counting raids and dungeons in Destiny 2, since Shadowkeep, which was all the way in 2019. There are very few exotics in Destiny 1 that aren't RNG, so you're going to have to go through the trials and tribulations of rerunning activities a million times. And again, if you're someone who enjoys that, then Destiny 1 is great. I know there's going to be a lot of people that aren't. Also, this game has no crafting. There's no way for you to like guarantee that you're going to get a weapon for the most part. For 90% of weapons in the game, there's just no way. You just have to rely on RNG. Like, if you want like an LDR, which is a really good sniper in that game, you just got to level up your Vanguard over and over and over and over and hope that the next package will give you the one that you want. And again, I know that there's going to be people that don't like that, but if you're somebody who likes to grind games, then Destiny 1 is definitely a grindy game that you can just keep going back to and keep having new carrots to chase. If you're a fan of more traditional loot shooters, then Destiny 1 is probably a lot more for you than Destiny 2 is, honestly, at this point. I'll probably eventually at some point make another video about the questification of Destiny over the years, because it's definitely, just transitioned to being a very quest-heavy game, like I said, but that's definitely going to end up being a longer video for another day. But all this to say, though, Destiny 1 is still a very good game in 2026. There's still a lot of reason for you to get into it. If you've never played it before, this game has thousands and thousands of hours of content, countless exotics for you to go chase, countless really good legendary weapons for you to go chase, some really cool armor sets. It doesn't have transmog, which sucks. Like I said, this game is a product of its time. There's some things that you're just going to have to kind of accept that are going to be the way that they are, right? Like you can't go into it expecting every single quality of life feature that Destiny 1 has. Like this game has primary ammo. Destiny 2 removed primary ammo like 3 or 4 years ago at this point. We haven't even had to worry about ammo in our primary weapons this entire time. In Destiny 1, it's still something that you have to manage. And most of the time, it's not really like a big deal or anything. Like, rarely ever will you actually run out of primary ammo, I would say, for the most part. But it is a factor. It doesn't have the hold down the trigger to just keep firing indefinitely feature or like toggle in the settings, so you just have to press, like on single shot weapons, you just got to keep pressing the trigger. There is a perk called full auto that you can get that will make those guns where you can do that, but out of the box they don't come with the ability to do that. And in addition, that Destiny 2 actually doesn't have, that Destiny 1 does, is that sniper rifles in Destiny 1 actually have scopes that you can select. Every sniper in Destiny 2 just comes with a default scope, and there's not really anything you can do to change it. Most snipers, outside of like a couple in Destiny 1, all have scopes that you can select multiple out of. Each time you get a sniper to drop it that's legendary, it'll come with 3 different scope choices, and you can choose between them. Some of them have longer zooms, some of them have shorter zooms, but yeah. I will say for the most part, you're always going to want to have a shorter zoom scope, like ambush and short gaze are the 2 best ones, and any that you can get that are shorter zoom are going to be better, just generally speaking for most scenarios. But it is still cool that you have a choice. Also, Destiny 1 has these things called 3 of coins. I think I might have mentioned them earlier when I was talking about the exotics, but I'm not actually sure, so I'll talk about them real quick. 3 of coins are a currency that you can buy from Xur every week in the tower. They cost 7 strange coins, and you get a stack of, I think it's 5 of them. And basically what these do is they just give you a chance of getting an exotic engram anytime you complete an activity. So this is one of the main ways that you're going to go about getting exotics these days in Destiny 1. And before we wrap this up and I get out of here, I'm going to go ahead and kind of rewind this to when I was talking about the core game and how this all connects. That's what I want to point out right now, is just how this all connects together. And what makes Destiny 1's core game so special compared to, like, obviously Destiny 2's, where there really isn't much of a core game. Everything in Destiny 1 works together. Like, everything that you're doing in that game, as far as like the core game goes, actively works together. So when you're trying to farm for exotics, like let's say you start a fresh account and you want to like get everything that the game has to offer, basically. You can go and farm for exotics at the same time that you're leveling up your Vanguard or completing Vanguard bounties that are going to give you, a legendary drop that's going to boost your power, or you're trying to level up factions. Like, it all just ties together, whereas Destiny 2's progression systems don't really do that, / don't exist. Everything just connects. You don't have to go out of your way to do one thing, necessarily, in Destiny 1. Like, if you're trying to farm for exotics, you can do that in the Strike playlist, you can do it in Crucible, you can do it wherever, really, like, as far as that goes. And it all just works. And also, one last thing is this game functions on an extreme reset type of system, so, like, you actually do have to kind of care about the weekly resets in Destiny 1, whereas in Destiny 2 these days, you just kind of log in and do whatever. Like, outside of the weekly GM and stuff, nothing really seems to really change in Destiny 2. Destiny 1 had specific modifiers that would change on the Strike playlist every single week in the Heroic Strikes. New featured Crucible mode, the Nightfall would change, and in that game you really wanted to complete the Nightfall because it would give you an XP buff across the board, across all activities until the next reset, so everyone runs the Nightfall every single week, and, every time the reset comes, it's basically the first thing that you do. There's no way to really farm raid loot. Like, once you've done your raid for the week, you're done, so you have to wait until the next weekly reset in order to run that raid again on that character. So you really do have to kind of be bought into the weekly reset rituals of Destiny 1 in order to get the most out of the game. Everyone used to really look forward to Tuesdays in Destiny 1 because it was always a big deal what was going to be, in the reset, if the modifiers on the Strike playlist were going to be good or whatever, so... But yeah, guys, that's pretty much going to do it for me. Let me know if you guys have been playing Destiny 1 lately, or if you guys have any questions or anything that you want to ask about Destiny 1 specifically. I'd be happy to try to answer them. Other than that, just give me your thoughts on it, like, especially if you've been playing Destiny 1 with this whole community resurgence, because there's been an absolute ton of people getting into Destiny 1 for the first time over the last month. There's been a ton of people getting back into the game that haven't played it in a long time, so if you've been doing that and you've been having a lot of fun, let me know why, or, what you've been enjoying doing on it. But yeah, that'll pretty much do it for me. I'll see you guys next time. Leave a like, subscribe, comment. Peace.